the golden girl of network news met a tragic death, but no one dared show both sides of the bitter controversy. Nothing's too hot to handle. A current affair, stories no one dared to touch until now.
Weeknights at 7:30 on Fox 11.
Happy New Year's. I look like a drunken leprechaun now? This lady. Yeah, now I recognize you. It's our New Year's Eve special, folks, and we're here at Igby's. My name is John Mulrooney. Dennis Wolfburg is our first performer. Now, he is a man who is to comedy what Jackie Gleason was to the high jump, folks. You may have seen him on The Tonight Show, and he is going to be appearing on the premiere of the new Pat Sajak show and an upcoming Showtime special from Aspen, Colorado, which I am also on. Folks, Dennis Wolfburg.
Thank you. What a very, very, very nice response. And Happy New Year, and thank you for coming as I attempt to render you apoplectic with amusement. Thank you very, very much. We are entering into 1989, a new year, during which we will have a new president, Mr. Bush, who, in an interview yesterday, stated once again that during his administration there will be no new taxes, he said. However, he suggested there might be some need for revenue enhancers. Which, to me, is like saying about a prostitute, she is not a hooker, she's an orgasmetrician. Nice to be back in L.A. for the New Year's Eve party. I'm here with my family. My wife and I have a little boy who just turned 2 years old, and we're very excited. A completely new role in life for me as a father. I was single for many, many years. I was single till I was 39 years old. That's a long time. And I know you're asking how such a spectacular hunk of granite, such as myself, could have escaped marital ensnarlment for so many years, but I was not, in fact, spectacularly successful with women, and I know that's hard to believe by looking at me, but go with me on this one, okay? And stretch your collective imagination, if you would. Some men have it, whatever it is. It's indefinable. It's like a chemical reaction that will excite women by their mere presence, and I had the antidote to whatever this reaction was, and I would induce restraint. I'll tell you, I don't think I'd want to be single now with the diseases that have become so rampant. As a result of these, casual sex has, to a very large extent, kind of disappeared. And so now, with respect to my bachelorhood, I look back on myself as not having been unsuccessful, but ahead of my time. I was a virtual pioneer in the world of abstinence. I didn't practice abstinence, I perfected it, ladies and gentlemen. I would reduce the art of seduction down to its most basic component of begging. And I would sometimes try to seduce women through alcohol, which for me was misguided because these women could hold their liquor so much better than I could. And I would get drunk faster than they, and I found I was taking advantage of myself. What a stud. Perhaps the most humiliating episode I ever had as a single was one night in a rather dimly lit singles bar. I bought a woman a drink and I bought myself a drink, but for some reason the bartender placed one of those tall straws in my drink, a straw I didn't need and a straw I unfortunately did not see on this particular occasion. And as I hoisted the cocktail, the straw pierced the thin layer of epithelial tissue that separates my right nostril from my cerebral cortex. And as I stood there watching part of my frontal lobe drain, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't help but think that she had a gin and tonic while I had a vodka and brain cells in my hand. I'm trying to remember if cerebellum juice is an aphrodisiac. I couldn't remember as I lurched out of there with no motor control. Looked like a loser on Dance Fever. What a stud. But I'll tell you, it's nice being, this was my first Christmas where I really bought a lot of presents for my child. I'm not a great consumer, I'll tell you. I'm not like my mother, who might be the greatest consumer in the history of the species, ladies and gentlemen. My mom's greatest joy in life to this day remains getting things on sale. Well, as a kid, all of my clothes were factory irregulars. Are you familiar with this? The factory makes a mistake, and you get things at less than the regular price. I once got a shirt that had a crotch. For years, I had to contort so we could save a couple of bucks. She would buy irregular food. One night at dinner, I said, "Ma, chicken is not supposed to have tusks. I don't care what you paid for it. Bring it back and get a coupon." My mom buying food. I now do the food shopping for our family, I'll tell you. But, of course, my wife does not trust me to buy the most nutritious things. So she writes lists. I buy what's on the list, some of which occasionally is rather strange. Last week, kosher pork, which to me is a food that misses the point completely, like a pig who went to Hebrew school, ladies and gentlemen. My mom once had me buy, a little while back, what had to be the stupidest thing I had ever bought in my life, evaporated milk. Milk that is already evaporated. If there's one quality in anything I buy that I demand, it is visibility. Without visibility, you cannot check quality. I wouldn't buy evaporated water. This is humidity. I wouldn't spend a nickel on humidity. I'm not going to plunk down money on milk that has disappeared. Suppose I bring this milk home and I put it down and I forget where I put it. Eventually, it'll transform into an invisible cheese. There'll be an invisible stench that'll diffuse, and neighbors will say, "Why don't you get rid of it?" I'd say, "I'd like to, but I can't find it. It's evaporated." My wife had me buy shrimp balls for dinner one night. Shrimp balls. And if there's any part of the shrimp that I don't want to munch on, I have a vision of a shrimp swimming up the river going, well, I'm munching on a sensitive part of his anatomy. Give me his pancreas or his spleen, but let him swim in dignity, for God's sake. We're out here from New York. I moved out here from New York a little while back. I lived my entire life in New York. I was educated in New York at Queens College, not a particularly great school, a school that academically ranks up there with the American Bartenders Institute, but I was going to be a doctor. I was pre-med. I did not do particularly brilliantly. I got as far as organic chemistry. Are you familiar with this? This was the course at Queens. They say separated the men from the boys, and I didn't even qualify as a fetus having taken this course. I got a 15 on the final. What a brilliant performance this was. And I cheated my buns off to get that 15. It was not even a legitimate 15. The professor gave me an F-. I'll never forget this wicked woman. F-. She said, otherwise it wasn't fair to those who failed normally. That's what she told me. And the only reason she gave me F- is because she couldn't give me a G. Wicked. Well, Happy New Year, everybody, and thank you very much.
Dennis Wolfburg, folks. Dennis Wolfburg coming up. Drake Sather, Stanley Omen, Diane Ford, and so much more you wouldn't believe. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Like so many other people, the Johnson family of La Puente thought they'd seen the Rose Parade before.
Horses,
Floats.
Bands.
Now you can see the Rose Parade like you've never seen it before in the spectacular third dimension.
Fox 11 presents the Rose Parade in spectacular 3D. So get your 3D glasses at Vons and see the Rose Parade like never before. In 3D, only on Fox 11.
please, Spirit, no more. Can't we make a deal?
Did somebody say deal? You want Spirit? Come into your Dodge dealer's big year-end sales drive. Get big cash back on selected Dodges, 2 sporty Dodges, or practical Dodges. Deals on Dynasties, too. Hurry, this could end. Hey!
That's not in the script. What's the deal?
Did somebody say deal? At your Southern California Dodge dealers.
The lowest prices of the year at Levitt's.
What a sale! Levitt's showrooms are loaded with bargains. Like this choice of 3 Armstrong dressers and mirrors for only $196. Take your pick of contemporary, traditional, or country colonial styles for only $196. Complete your bedroom with headboards, nightstands, and chests, which are also all on sale at Levitt's lowest prices of the year.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
Camcorders, color TVs, VCRs,
It's Federated's end-of-the-year clearance.
projection TVs, video games, giant TVs,
Time to get tremendous savings
CD players,
digital receivers,
car stereos,
on hundreds of items at Federated.
cassette recorders,
tower speakers,
stereo systems,
At the guaranteed lowest prices.
CD changers,
cassette players.